Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday. And today we are taking out the Tier 7 Premium British battleship, the Nelson. And I am joined with Juhoon in the Belfast, one of my clanmates. We are playing on New Dawn, and the match is pretty good for us. We're top tier, obviously, tier 7 versus mostly tier 6 and tier 5s. We have a New Mexico, Iron Duke, Konig, Congo, Belfast Shores, Cleveland, Alba, Furataka, Atasuki, and a Fubuki. On the enemy team, there is a KGV, a Bayern, New York, Julio Cesar, York, Miyoko, Cleveland, Leander, Emil Burton, Leningrad, Fubuki, and a Minikaze. And I will probably go ahead and fully admit that this battle is not going to be very fast-paced. You'll see and understand as the battle fully commences. Currently, we are starting to push in towards the B cap, and we're going to try to take control, try to be aggressive. It's always fun to be aggressive, and we are top tier. And I promise you that you will, especially near the end, I love what happens near the end. Is fantastic. Fubuki went ahead and got spotted by the Belfast radar, took a shot and actually overled a destroyer. What is this madness? But fortunately for him, he's going to be able to get away, but he is going to be taking a significant amount of damage. Now, unfortunately for Juhoon, the Fubuki did leave some presents behind in the form of torpedoes, and those torpedoes are coming towards him very quickly, and this is gonna be a big factor for this battle, because it's gonna really mean that Juhoon does have to play it very cautiously. Now, obviously, the Nelson is, I would say she's a good ship. She can take citadels, and I probably wouldn't always recommend to do what I'm about to do, which is going to be essentially camping. And I know camping's not terribly exciting, but this is going to be a hard carry for both of us. Our team makes some rather bit interesting choices. As you can see, we have just lost our shores. Shores decided to rush into B and then just got deleted because our entire team is essentially going towards the B cap. We do have 2 cruisers over at sea fighting off the enemy destroyer over there, but for whatever reason, everyone's behind us, and this is gonna really slow down the game, and hoping to get some shots on the KGV. Now, the Nelson, as obviously is part of the British battleship line, has really good HE. I highly recommend her HE, but her AP is just as fantastic. And of course, for me, unfortunately, I just opened up against that KGV that I only had the rear turret to open up on this Emil Burton, and gotta love spaced armor. Get a overpin on that Emil Burton. Unfortunately, don't get a citadel, even though he was broadside. But this Cleveland decides to come out at the exact same time, and guns are reloaded. The Sigma value seems pretty decent on the Nelson, and that's why I recommend her whenever fighting against other cruisers using AP, because it does a really good job, and you can surprise enemy ships, enemy cruisers quite easily with AP. And once again, this is not how I would normally say you should be playing the Nelson, being this stagnant, because the Nelson, yes, has a really good setup to where the turrets all face forward. You don't have that bizarre Ismo turret setup, and it does allow you to swing your turrets back and forth very quickly, and for the most part, you can withstand most amount of damage, but the Nelson will be up tiered sometimes to tier 9, which the Nelson's armor just can't withstand, and you will get citadel through the bow. I mean, there's just no way around it. So you do have to play it cautiously whenever obviously fighting against higher tier battleships. And you can see the enemy team really wants me dead. I think the highest amount was at count of 9, but look at the shot. I love the shot. Shots off at the Fubuki. Keep in mind, he's 12.4 kilometers away. And dispersion's not always the nicest, but there we go. Take out the enemy Fubuki. Unfortunately, most of our shots do get hit, or do hit the island. And unfortunately, this Miyoko is going to survive for a little bit longer, but we'll see him a little bit later. Atsuki, I don't actually know what he was doing. I actually don't know why he opened up when he did. Unfortunately, goes down. Still kind of an odd choice. Now, it looks like the KGV is starting to come around the island. And the KGV, I actually liked the KGV when I had her. I thought she was actually a really good ship. Very similar to the Scharnhorst in a lot of ways. But comes around the island. And yeah, I probably could be using Aishi. But once again, the AP is pretty decent. And still recommend it. Now, our team is starting to push in around the 7-8 line, and it just takes them forever. It's probably due to the fact of this Emil Bertin, who they're just constantly trying to shoot, but he's being very nimble in the water, that he's actually very difficult to hit. Now, I don't know why the enemy battleships don't push into B. For example, that Chuli Jassar could push in, as well as any of these other battleships. We have only one destroyer, and he is on the eastern side. Granted, they may not know this, but he is away from the battlefield to actually really push in. But look there, Leander starts to push in, slows up, and pops smoke. Obviously, we are spotted, and he's going to be beginning to open up against us. Now, we do have a friendly Belfast, and the Belfast, as some people will say, is a little bit overpowered. And yeah, I would have to say is a little overpowered to extent, but if played correctly, it's a very strong ship. And there we go. Got a few hits, not enough to kill him. Miyoko definitely want to get rid of, but 4 ships are aiming at us. I'm going to go ahead and start reversing, because more than likely the enemy Leander did drop torpedoes. Now, the Belfast has radar, as I probably did mention, and more than likely he's going to be dropping them, so that's why I am going to try to back up. Now, this is one thing to keep in mind. Nelson, yes, strong ship, has good AP, armor's semi-decent, and she does have that amazing heal. Pretty much click a button and you get a new ship. But even when you do have that, you have to be cautious with her. She just can't withstand, as even a Conqueror is kind of well known, she can't withstand being focus fire. And that's, granted, yes, why I am being cautious, because there's still quite a few battleships. The enemy team has not lost any of their battleships, and I have to be careful, because show any broadside, get citadel. Show my stern, get citadeled. So yeah, you kind of understand why I'm being as cautious as I am. Fortunately, we do eat a citadel, and unfortunately for the Nelson, that does count as citadel damage, which means it is not very easily repairable. I believe you can only get, I believe it's like either 25 or 30% of your health back from a citadel slash torpedo, something like that. It's very small amount of repair that you can get back. Now, I am concerned that possibly one of the enemy battleships could come around, or even a cruiser, because we are losing ships. Leningrad, don't exactly know why he thought that was such a great idea, but fortunately the enemy team no longer has a enemy destroyer. But for whatever reason, enemy team doesn't really want to seem to push towards me. Granted, we do have a few of our battleships, but keep in mind it is a Congo and a Konig, and the enemy team, I don't know. Both sides were passive. I will fully agree, both sides were passive. We were passive, but honestly, at the moment, we have B and C. There's no reason for us to push. No reason at all. Now, here we do see the enemy York, and I think the enemy York, if he really wanted to, he probably could have pushed Jihoon in the Belfast, because the Belfast does not have torpedoes, and the York does. York, I'm definitely did not like the York, but at least she does have torpedoes, and she could have pushed against Jihoon and probably got away with that, but instead starts to push in north, and or better yet east, and at that time we have lost our Furataka, and things are interesting. We are down in ships, we are ahead in points, now equalized due to the fact of our friendly Congo, and our Fubuki. I'm trying to think what if he's actually able to get around. I think he is gonna be able to survive this. We do see the Emile Bertin very low in health. There we have just lost our Congo. Oh good lord, things are not looking good. Does look like Jihoon does get the Emile Bertin. Very nice. Julius Caesar, and even against this Julius Caesar at this kind of angle, this is about 53 degrees going away at the moment, but just watch this. Nice big ol' hit, 13,000, almost 14,000 points of damage right there, leaving that Julio Caesar very low in health, and Jihoon's doing his very best to try to take out this Julio Caesar, and at this time, York comes around the corner, but fortunately our guns are almost reloaded, and just watch this. This is nice. Not the best shot I've had, but there we go. Double Citadel. One devastating strike and one dead York. Torpedoes are going to be passing harmlessly by and will cause no damage. So there is our second kill of the game. Very nice. And things are starting to look better. We are now ahead in ships, but very passive game. I will fully admit. I know I've said this multiple times, but very passive game. But it does look like Jihoon does get the Julio Caesar. We have our Alba, 211 points of health, still kicking, still alive. But now I think it's actually time to push. Might as well. There's only 3 enemy ships left on the enemy side. One is a very low health Bioko and a fairly full health New York. This KGV I'm not afraid of. We shouldn't be able to get spotted by him. Does finally take out our Alba, but watch this next salvo. I think RNGesus loved me, and I think after this shot I probably will run out of luck and will no longer have any such luck with anything. Oh, but this salvo, RNGesus loved me. Just watch. Look at this. Look at that. Triple Citadel, high caliber, devastating strike. One dead New York. Oh, that was glorious. Now, Miyoko was last spotted at A. We know the KGV is coming around the corner. Enemy team does not have a lot of time to get a win out of this. They definitely need to do something. Now starting to push in towards the KGV. I wonder where that Miyoko is. He has to be here around somewhere. Oh, we are detected. Oh, there he is. And just one gun is all I need. There we go. Confederate. And kill number 4. And unfortunately out of time, but not a bad battle. So, yes, clearly a victory. 2 devastating strikes. Confederate Dreadnought, high caliber, 137,441 points of damage, 5 citadels, 4 kills, so not bad. Both me and Jihoon, or Jihoon and I, were top of the teams. Jihoon got a basic speed of 2023, very nice job there. Damage wise, New York, ooh, 45,000 just from that one salvo. That was fantastic. AP did, well, actually, that's all I fired in that battle was AP. 147 shells fired, 41 shell hit. So not a bad battle. Let's see. Our potential damage was 1,373,332. Yeah, I think the enemy team did really want me dead, but we actually didn't move that far, only around 20 kilometers. That's actually really funny. Yeah, I love this ship, and I'm actually kind of curious. What do you guys think about the Nelson? I know some people don't think she's very attractive. I will say she's probably not a Roma or a Julio Cesar sexy, but I think she is sexy in her own little way. But anyways, this is going to be it for this episode of World of Warships Funday Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.